Hello, welcome to Doomsday Watch number 3. We read and we comment on Doomsday Clock number 3, and there is actually not too much to talk about on this issue. It's funny. Okay, so we gotta talk basically about comedian, mime and marionette, and Batman and Hoshak. So let's go with the basic one. Let's go with oh, and that is Johnny Thunder. Yeah, but Johnny Thunder is just another thing. So okay. Mime and marionette. This is funny because they don't do that much. The only thing they do, they go to a bar, and people say, "Oh, you cannot wear makeup because the Joker will get pissed off." And they're like, "Who's the Joker?" And they, "Oh, don't you know the Joker? The Joker's crazy." And of course, they try to beat them up, and then we notice that the mime's gun is real. He has a gun, and this weapon is real because he points the gun at a guy and he shoots and he kills the man. So the gun exists. It's not imaginary as we thought it would be. Because since issue number 1, we were like, oh, okay, he has an imaginary thing because he's a mime, haha. It's quote unquote invisible, but they exist, and this is fun. And now they're going to meet the Joker, but since DC Rebirth special, we know there are three Jokers. I said 2, but 3 Jokers. Yeah. So which one are they going to meet? And I don't know why. Yeah. So they are going to meet the Joker for some reason. And then you say, oh, but wait a minute. Doomsday Clock should not be talking to things on the DC Rebirth special. But they are. Because on the thing about discovering Dr. Manhattan's involvement in recent DC Universe things was this discovery was on DC Rebirth special. That's when we discovered. That's when Batman discovered the button in the Batcave. And this is the other thing we have to talk about. Okay, because the comedian appeared, and we were like, okay, the comedian is alive. But at first I thought, okay, so Dr. Manhattan revived the comedian after all the Watchmen story for this purpose. And then the comic says, no, it wasn't quite like that. They show the fight again, the fight, comedian fight when Ozymandias killed the comedian, but they basically show, oh, you know what? When the comedian was going to hit the ground, he was teleported to the DC universe. He's teleported to Metropolis. And this is something we're like, what? He was teleported? Okay, so this basically creates 2 big problems. Did Dr. Manhattan save the comedian from falling? Because if he did so, that would change the entire history of Watchmen, because the history of Watchmen, of the miniseries, starts with the death of the comedian. And then Hoshak investigates and he discovers, oh, it's Ozymandias and all these things, you know? So, you know, what's the deal about that? And second, the button. The button. The comedian fell with the button. And then he is by the shore with the button. But the button was found by the ground, by Rorschach, and this button was put in the comedian's coffin. It was tossed by second or third edition. Something like that. Okay. It gets worse because Batman had a button. The button from the Batcave. And then you say, oh, okay, the button with the comedian could be the button from the Batcave because the Reverse Flash got it and it was killed and all this button crossover there was between Batman and the Flash. Okay, but are there two buttons now? Okay, this is not what we should be paying attention to, but I can't help but wonder. So, comedian was saved by Dr. Manhattan. He was put in the DC universe. So basically, Dr. Manhattan could analyze the DC universe, analyze the threat Ozymandias would be, and say, you know what? You know what could stop Ozymandias? The comedian. And then he will put the comedian inside the DC universe to stop Ozymandias, and then we would have two comedians, one dead and one alive. It would be the comedian of Schrödinger. Yeah. Ozymandias escapes, and then we see on the news, the attacker was arrested, and then you think, okay, so they arrested the comedian, right? I think so. It's funny, it's an edition without Superman. Have you thought about it? It was announced, Dr. Manhattan will meet Superman. Okay. And then we have what should or people would think it's the most important part of the story. It's Batman and Rorschach. Rorschach is at the Wayne Manor and they are talking. And okay, I have to read this journal by the first Rorschach. So just settle down. And Rorschach 2.0 goes and takes a shower. He scrubs his head so hard it bleeds. Terrible. And he has a nightmare from the day of the attack, which is a kind of interesting perspective. But the most important, he relaxes. I think it's the first time that Rorschach, all Rorschachs, has ever taken a shower and slept. Funny. So they sleep. We didn't know, but now we do. He sleeps. The second one. Okay. And by the end, I know, I read it, and I know where Dr. Manhattan is, and let's go to this place. It's called Arkham, and I was like, okay, he's gonna lock Rorschach up because Rorschach is just fucked up, and so he does. But the funniest thing, he puts him in a cell that says by the wall, "We are all mad here." It's something by the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, and the gods were talking about the Mad Hatter had escaped and they got him again and they were bringing him again to the prison. Coincidence? When we talk about normal comics, it would be a coincidence. When we talk about Watchmen, or in this case, the sequel of it, it's not so much of a coincidence. Got it? Yeah. But the most important part, and related to the bonus material, is Johnny Tanda. If you don't know, Johnny Tanda was a member of the Justice Society of America. He was a boy with a bow tie, and he would call a kind of genius the lightning, and then he could ask for anything, and the genius would do it. Recently, like 10 to 15, almost 20 years ago, they created a new version, Jikin Tanda, that inherit this power, this genius. So Johnny was too old. In this rebirth version, we saw on this rebirth special, Johnny Tanda in the retirement home being taken care, but he tries to escape and he's trying to call the genius and he can't. And Wally West, the Flash, is like, hey, I'm trying to help you. Where is the Justice League, the Justice Society? Beg pardon. Like, I don't know. And that's it. That's his part on this rebirth special, but he's trying to get the Justice Society back. Which is funny because the Justice Society is kinda the Minutemen. It's kinda this kind of society of superheroes that the Watchmen universe had for a while, with, for example, the first Night Owl. Yeah. So, okay. And they are watching a movie. It's the Nataniel Dusk series, and we're gonna have to wait a little more, but it's obvious. It's obvious that not only the appearance of Johnny Thunder, but also these movies are saying something because it reminds me of this pirate comic from the original Watchmen that is being read through the edition. So let's see what goes. I don't know if it would be necessary. I've read Watchmen sometimes, and some of these times I have skipped the pirate pages because I don't like them. So I don't know if that's the case of, oh, let's make it equal, but now with old movies of assassination. But since the moment that we know that the actor that played Nathaniel Dusk may be a part of it, and we know that in Watchmen everything matters, so in Doomsday Clock everything must matter, it's funny. It's something to observe, you know. Let's see. It's an edition that a lot of things don't happen, I gotta say. But a lot of things happen in the matter that they present the situations. Rorschach is now in Arkham, but the Arkham people don't know he's there, which is... And that reminds me of when Rorschach was arrested in the original Watchmen. Ozymandias is now trying to escape. Lex Luthor is in the hospital. Mime and Marionette are going to meet the Joker. And most of all, this Superman theory about the super people that are arising has this name Superman theory, but people don't believe Superman is involved in that. They actually say his name should not be involved. Which is funny because in this edition, Superman is not involved. When he's gonna hear about, for example, somebody attacking Lex Luthor and stuff like that, of course he's gonna step in. It's, I don't know, in my opinion, it's obvious. So let's see how it goes. But I'm interested in Johnny Thunder because that could mean the return of the Justice Society, but also the return of the Minutemen. We never know. Even like Night Owl and Silk Spectre. Who knows? That would be fun. And this noir movie thing. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think of Doomsday Clock. and of Doomsday Watch. I'm thinking of creating a second series here to talk about Watchmen. I don't know. But thing is, they already announced that Doomsday Clock number 4 is delayed, so it's gonna take some time to have the 4th edition. Let's see how it goes. Maybe it was not because of the writer or the artist, maybe because of the other teams from the other series. They were like, okay, we don't have enough time to set everything up for the DC universe they want to set for Doomsday Clock, so we need more time. Maybe it was there. So let's see how it goes. This is Doomsday Clock number 3 on stores now by DC. And this is Doomsday Watch. See you soon. I don't know. Maybe do the Watchmen thing. I don't know.